we are going live. So we will see
Yay!
in a minute. Oh, and we are now streaming live on Facebook. That happened quicker than usual. So I'm excited to announce that I am here with Karen Gray, and we have some exciting things coming your way today. We just had a quick chat before hopping on.
Oh, we are now streaming live on Facebook.
Oh, and this always happens
Quicker than usual.
I have to mute on the other thing. Gee, Facebook, I wish you could fix that. So, Karen and I are bringing to you today the sort of evolution of finding your voice, because Karen is a podcaster and, has built her podcast to, how long have you been doing it now?
I'm in my second season, so this is my second year.
Amazing. So we're going to talk a little bit about the evolution of your voice, because becoming a podcaster is all about finding your voice and finding the right voice for your podcast. And I know because I've similarly gone through that with my own podcast. And we're also going to touch a bit on mindset, because you're kind of a mindset energy guru and help people make those shifts. And you and I were talking before about the importance of that in business that is so often ignored. And I've had this conversation with my clients recently, and I've had it in talks with other entrepreneurs, that it's such an important facet of becoming or being an entrepreneur that it's often ignored, because we think if we do all the business stuff and we do it the way we're told, everything should work out. But there's that tiny little sliver that if we are not in the right mindset, or we are not doing the work to heal certain things or to overcome certain limiting beliefs, it is going to be our struggle. It is going to hold us back. We're going to hit a wall, and there just is no way to get past it. It's kind of a mean, not a mean trick, but it's kind of the universe saying, you think you can skirt around it, but nope, you can't. You need to face this.
I love that. Yeah, the universe is so good at bringing things back around in the lessons that we need to learn, isn't it?
Very much so. I have learned the hard way many times.
I think we all learn the hard way at least the first 2 times. Maybe by the 3rd time around, we're like, oh, okay, I get it. This doesn't have to be this hard.
Yes. And eventually you're like, okay, this keeps coming back around. So maybe it's time I look at it squarely and go, how can I put this behind me?
Yeah, I love that. I love that you're giving space and an opportunity for us to talk about this today, Diva, because I have this conversation at least 3 or 4 times a day with clients, because they're doing all the things, they're checking all the boxes, but they're not getting the responses they want. People aren't interacting with them the ways that they think they should. And it all comes down to that universal law of attraction, that we get back what we're sowing out into the world. And if we're stressed and we're tired and we're frustrated, we're really going to just be attracting more of that energy into our business and our lives and our relationships, because that's the space we're occupying. So if we're not taking care of ourselves and really dealing with the things that are going on in our own head, and addressing those things, we just kind of stay in that little spiral. So you're right. It is a sliver of our day, but it really is the driving force that makes it all work. It's the glue.
Yeah, absolutely. When I first started out sort of transitioning my business online, I was doing all the things, and I was doing it the way I was being told. And it wasn't until I kind of took a step back and realized I was trying to use everybody else's voice in what I was doing, because they were telling me my posts had to be a certain way and things had to be structured a certain way. It's not until I went, screw that. So I'm like, I'm just going to be me. And the minute I made that shift, my engagement changed. over 1,000% actually, based on the analytics. The engagement changed over 1,000%. The people commenting went up, like my following went up by 300 and something percent. And it was all because I stopped trying to be what everybody else was telling me to be, and I started being me. So I found my own voice in business, and it was me constantly doing the work. And I realized that mindset is something that I have to work on daily. It's a daily practice. And I notice a difference when I don't.
Yeah. So tell me, when you made that shift, did you feel differently about how you were showing up for your people? Like, okay, now I'm just going to be me, but I have something to give them.
Oh yeah. I felt 100% different. I felt like the expert. I felt like I knew what I was talking about, and I was free to talk about it as I wanted, not as what was being told to me or as what was expected of me. And so I kind of put aside all the, I guess, stereotypes of what people were doing and how to post, how much to post. And I just kind of went, no, I'm just going to be me. So if that means throwing a curse word in here and there for effect, because that's me, then so be it. And honestly, I think it's where I allowed myself to be my authentic self is that really started attracting the right people to me.
Yeah. And that you just said, like, that is my word for 2021 is authenticity. So just walking in your authenticity and living in that space, in your head, in your heart, in your business. When we look left and right and we compare ourselves to someone else's social media picture or profile, there is nothing positive that can come from that. It's either a feeling of, I'll never be that, right? I can't measure up. I can't look like that, talk like that, act like that, have that much money. Or it's the feeling of, I'm better than them, right? So either way, we're judging, and it's just negative to who you are designed and created to be, and you can't walk in your authenticity. So when you let that go, stop comparing, become other people's cheerleaders. You want them to succeed in your space. There's enough business going around that we can all help someone. So if your true purpose is to help people with whatever you do in your business, just walk there, go there, do that, but do it with integrity and authenticity. And that's when you begin to have that mind shift and find your voice and find that purpose that you've been missing.
Yeah, I love that. And you know what? Integrity is a big word that people often forget. And I see a lot of it out there, or lack of, hijacking posts and, rather than building relationships and building rapport, it's about selling.
Yes.
And
Yes. Oh my gosh.
yes, yeah. And I think, you know what? It makes it icky. And
I just heard like 50 people in the chat watching this going, yes, amen, preach it, sister, because that is the struggle, and the struggle is real.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I find it frustrating because I think, you may have the greatest product or you may have the greatest service, and you are doing yourself this huge disservice in thinking that it needs to be sold at any cost and cutthroat. And you're right. When we start having that abundant mindset and realizing that there is enough, always enough business, enough clients, enough people for us, then all of a sudden it takes a huge weight off of us.
Right. And what I see all the time is when I stop trying to feel or be everything for everybody, I begin to find my tribe, or they find me.
Yes. Yeah.
Because now they align with what I'm saying and what what I just posted resonates for them and it means something. They can apply it because I'm not trying to water it down to fit, all the other 5 influencers that I saw out there. And I've used this analogy a lot lately because it really spoke to me in something I read. Do you want to influence or impact?
I like that a lot.
And I think influence is about me, right? I'm having an influence on someone and I make them feel something, but impact is I help them change. So they're changing something they're doing or buying or thinking, and it's making that impact where they can duplicate it, replicate it, go out there and be that.
Yes, I love that, because really we should all be looking to make an impact in the world, whatever that may look like for each individual person.
Mm-hmm.
There will always be influencers. There will always be that out there. But when we look to make an impact, we change how we deal with people.
Yeah.
And I always say building rapport and building community is probably the 2 biggest things that we need to focus on as entrepreneurs.
Right.
Because when we can create a community where people feel safe to be themselves, to speak their truth, to do things authentically, then we're giving them immense power.
Yeah.
And I think that will take people farther than just this mindset of sell. Ultimately, yes, you want to make money, but when you make an impact, people will automatically follow that with, keeping an eye on what you're doing, perhaps buying something from you at some point to test the waters. And this is where I kind of like the Russell Brunson mentality of a value ladder. Because you see somebody speak or you see a Russell Brunson in the world and go, this guy speaks a lot of truth, like this makes sense to me. And so you're like, oh well, I'm gonna buy his Calm Secrets book and I'm gonna see what that's about. Oh, I really like that. You know what, he's doing a seminar, I'm gonna pay $99 and do that seminar this day. Oh, you know what, I'm gonna follow this guy because I want to join his 2000 or .com 2 comma club or whatever he has. And so people need to understand that when you create impact and you do that from a place of just giving, you are automatically attracting that sale.
Right.
And it really should feel that effortless.
Yeah. So let's list that out or kind of piece that out so people can duplicate that in their business. So what Russell does is he creates a value add. I'm going to give you value so you can begin to know who I am, what I stand for, what I mean, and what I have to offer.
Yep.
That builds trust. They're getting to know and trust him. So once they trust him, then the dollars follow, because now I know he's authentic. Now I know he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to buy the next thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that worked. That was legitimate. That worked. There was, purpose for me in that. Now I'm willing to spend even more money with them. So the dollars follow the trust.
Yeah.
The trust follows the authenticity. I can't even say that word right now. The authenticity and the integrity, but it's all backed up by you did your homework. You created product that was valuable, but it's only valuable to the people that need that product. Yes. So Russell's not for everybody. He's finding his people by that value add, giving them that reason to trust him and see that this is important and valuable. And it leads them into his network, his Facebook group, his, comma club following.
Yeah.
Because if you just start with the comma club, there's nothing that you've built that on, right? There's nothing established for you to know it works for you. And
yes, exactly. That's exactly it.
I love that example. And I think there's so much that we can learn as small business owners or solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, when we're starting out. That podcast that you talked about, Like, I want to start a podcast. What do I want to talk about? Okay, what am I an expert of? Where is my authentic voice? And you asked me, and I want to go back to this, how I got started in kind of my place is I have a huge heart desire to help other women. And I thought, like, I can coach, I can do all of these things, but I really am at my core, my authenticity is I'm a champion of other people. So I want to give them a voice. I want to ask them, what have you gone through? What are the rocks in your life? The things that have weighed you down. And, you know, we all carry our bags, right? We have this baggage in our rocks. And my rocks were, you know, my story. That's how I got to where I am today. But I came to a place where I could choose to not carry the rocks. I could just carry the lessons that they taught me.
Yes.
And
I love that analogy, because my very first life coach that I hired, who's a great friend of mine, we sort of attributed my feelings of overwhelm not too long ago with a knapsack filled with rocks. And then I was trying to deal with the whole knapsack. And he said, take off the knapsack, take out one rock, deal with that first. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. I am looking at all the rocks, and that's where my overwhelm is coming. So I actually created a bowl of rocks that I still have in my house. It's a much smaller bowl, because everything I needed to get done, I was like, okay, that one's done. And I put it in the garden.
I love it.
That's done. And I put that rock in the garden. So I literally created this rock, bowl instead of bag. Right. But that's the analogy he used. So thank you for bringing up that memory, because that was really valuable to me at the time.
I love it. What a great exercise. And that's something anyone can do. You can do it on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a physical rock, but do it as an exercise where you just take the things that are weighing you down, write them down on a piece of paper. Those are your rocks that you're carrying. That's that heavy baggage you've been, you know, carrying around. So my story was I was adopted. That was a rock I carried, because I carried it like a burden and a pain, but there was a lesson there. And that was a process for me. Finding my voice through that process gave me another authentic voice to have with people in that situation. And then, you know, other things, we pick these things, the insecurity that came from that, or the imposter syndrome, or the fears that come from that. Those are all rocks that we carry around. And when we begin to look at it, we examine it. Is this really true? Is this really who I am today? No. Okay, rock, thank you for that lesson. You're going to now go away, and now I'm going to use you to get to my next path. I'm going to use this lesson. And now they're stepping stones. So your rocks that you took out are now your stepping stones for where you're going. They're still part of your story, but they no longer have power and weight over your life.
Yeah. And it's creating a path for others to follow.
100%.
Right? Those lessons you're learning, you can help somebody else get through theirs as well.
Right. And isn't that the purpose? Right? Isn't that the grander scheme of why we're here? It's not just to serve ourselves, it's to serve others.
Yeah.
And once we see that, okay, that happened, that was a fact, but it no longer is something I have to choose. It's a choice. Today, I get to choose not to carry this. And I may have to choose to lay it down every day.
Yeah. And sometimes what I do too, because I find just like when you think you've laid something down, it comes back occasionally. And I sort of do okay, I'm going to embrace this, and I'm going to let myself cry about it, or I'm going to let myself feel this way. And then I'm going to lay it back down. And it's okay. It needed to come up again, because I needed to cry, or I needed to have that moment, but it's moment.
Right. Yeah. So with my clients, we get 3 minutes. We're going to have 3 minutes, and we're going to feel this. This is real, right? Yeah. The thing that used to drive me insane and really tick me off was when people would say, you have to master your emotions and get over it. It's like, well, as women, especially, and if you're a sensitive woman or highly sensitive person, an HSP or an empathic person, and you really feel deeply, you can't tell me to just get over it.
Yes.
It doesn't compute in this head of mine. This, whatever this ball is rolling around in here doesn't work. I have to feel that because it's real for me.
Yes.
So if I acknowledge that, what is the lesson? What do I need to do here? And just give myself space to feel that and let it go. Okay, yeah, that really sucked. Do I need to do anything different with this? What can I do with it? Or do I just need to feel it and let it go and move on? It is what it is.
Yeah.
And then you figure that out, you acknowledge it, you give it space, and then you release it.
Yes. Yeah, it's absolutely true, because if you don't give it space, it's going to come back.
And it may anyway, but then you acknowledge it, you give it space, and you let it go. But it doesn't have to control you. Your anger is a reaction to something that's going on inside. Your fear is a reaction to something that's going on inside. So all of these things that we deal with, that imposter syndrome that so many of us face, myself included, of I'm not good enough. I'm not that, whatever that is, that other person I see on social media. We get in that comparison game, and all of that isn't true. We all have exponential value. We just have to embrace that value for the uniqueness that it is, because you weren't meant to be that other person. There's only one you. No one else can have your voice or speak your truth or use your lessons and scars in a way that you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes just speaking it can help somebody who's sitting in silence dealing with their own. And so hearing you speak it can be the seed that gets planted to help them overcome theirs.
Yeah. So that's where that mindset piece comes in. So if I can own my truth and understand that everything that's happened has brought me to where I am today, but I get to choose what I do with it.
Right.
I get to choose what today looks like, and I get to choose how I handle it tomorrow. That's where your power is. That's where your voice comes in. And that's where you can walk in your authenticity and step out of that shadow and just be the light that you were created to be.
Oh, love it. I love it. And when we can really focus on sort of becoming that light and letting that light shine, that naturally attracts people to us.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just think about the people that you love to be around. What is it they do or say that makes you feel that way?
Yeah.
There's something, right? So they're probably a positive person. They're happy to see you. They're excited you're around, or they have some kind of energy, a positive energy that draws you to them, right? There's that connection. That's the energy that comes from within, from a place of that I'm okay being me.
Yeah.
And you're okay being you. And I want to connect. Whether it's spoken, unspoken, it doesn't matter. They have a presence about them that you just want to be around. So begin to work to be that for other people.
Yes.
So when you're not carrying your baggage and your little Eeyore cloud around, have you met people like that? Like they just literally have this cloud around them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like the majority of my family.
So
who I have no relationships with anymore for that reason.
We all,
it was always about the next big upset, the next big thing. And it became so toxic. It's such a toxic environment. And I mean, things led to the way they are now, but it's my mom and I have sort of, cut cords, and we're living very vibrantly and very happy and at peace. And we've sort of broken those chains because we realized it became this ancestral thing that kept getting passed down from generation to generation. And circumstances were such that it was decided for us, but we look at it as a gift. Yeah, we lost some of those members of our family, but at the same time, I wish them love and light and harmony, because I know that's what they're struggling with. And I know that they're on a different level of consciousness. And so their mindset is such that they are stuck in this vicious loop. And, I don't wish that on anyone, despite maybe how they hurt us or how things went down. I am now in a place where I can forgive, and now I can wish them that healing for themselves, because sometimes you have to be out of that situation to see what those chains are, to see what those cycles are. And sometimes we carry burdens from our ancestors that we don't even know, they just are. And this is where really working on yourself and working on mindset is so important. Whether you're an entrepreneur or not, it becomes important in how you step forward in life.
It's how you acknowledge and form the relationships around you. So if you're, an employee or a manager or a C-suite level, it doesn't matter. You still have your sphere of influence around you, and the relationships around you can be improved by that mindset shift internally. And if in your family or in your experience it's always been this way, and you find that no longer serves you, you have the power to do something about it.
Yes.
And that's where taking back your ownership, taking back your voice, finding your place in this.
We're getting some hearts here, just so you know.
Love, thank you for the hearts. Yes, that's right. We're sending love. But it doesn't have, no matter what's happened in your past, that doesn't have to own your future or influence your future or have power over your future. There are so many examples of that. People who have come from a impoverished life to a millionaire life, or from an abusive, history of being raised as a child to a loving relationship as an adult.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay in the energy and the life and the decisions and the path that you are currently on. And I think if we could share anything to your listeners today, that's the most powerful thing, is finding your path and finding your peace and finding your voice are all linked together with the choices you make right here starting today. Yeah.
There's something that Tony Robbins said that really stuck with me. I did a course that he created, and most people know Tony Robbins' story, and he came from a very poor family, and lots of struggle, and he made a decision that was not going to be his life, and he changed it, and he remembers very vividly what that was like and where he's at now, and is so grateful for the path that was put in front of him. And he obviously had to make those choices, but in this course he said we have to be guardian of what we allow in our mind. And he's like, it's like a guard that you have to put outside your brain to say, yep, you're allowed in, and nope, I will not accept that as truth, or I will not accept that into my being. And it's a visual that's had an impact on me, because it makes a lot of sense. We control what we allow in, and what we allow to affect us. So if we continuously watch the news nonstop and listen to our complaining friends or relatives, and we're so inundated with this negativity, well, then what we can expect is that negativity will rub off.
Right.
When we make the choice to ensure that what we are allowing in is positive
Right.
and is, purposeful and impact and making these changes within us, then that is how we are going to live. And it made so much sense to me at the time and still does, which is why I find, dealing with mindset really is a daily practice. It has to be a daily practice.
Right.
It has to become a habit. And when we say, no, I don't need to read that book today, or I don't need to do my affirmations or whatever, those are the days that usually kick us in the ass.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So, and I'll share with you something I created, because it got to the point where I was not making excuses, but I was like, I've got this, I'm too busy. So I created this little booklet of affirmations for myself, and they change, and sometimes I add to them. But every day I find a time, because I keep it on my desk beside me, and I sit through and I say them out loud. I am a leader. And I use a lot of I am.
I am is powerful because that's saying I own it now.
Yes. Yeah. And so I have all these things. And whenever I hear something, I'm like, oh, that's a great affirmation that I really need to digest and let it become part of who I am. I write it down. And so I go through these affirmations daily as a reminder to myself. And I really try to see and read each one with purpose and not just reading them to get it over with. Yeah. So it's a practice. It has to be. And so I did this to make sure it's an easy practice that I don't forget. It's always near me. And it's easy for me to carry around if I need to.
That's a great idea. I love that. I think I'm gonna duplicate. So in my coaching business, we R&D a lot for content for certain industries like real estate. I coach a lot of real estate agents, and R&D is a thing, right? You take a great idea and you duplicate it. Not when you're selling, when you're using your own content and you're presenting yourself as your authentic self. Goes back to what we said, it has to be authentic. But when you're talking about marketing and stuff for sales, so I'm going to R&D your idea, and I'm going to duplicate it and learn from you, from another mindset master, because I love it. I love it. And if anybody is looking for a way to start new habits, there's a book by Hal Elrod. It's called The Miracle Morning. And it is amazing. Yes. Oh my gosh. Love this book. Ladies, if you have not read that and have not learned about being a saver, you need to learn about this. It's amazing to have your affirmations, to do, the exercises, and you don't have to be a 5 o'clock morning person, the 5 a.m. mafia. It's not about that. Yeah. I'm not a 5 a.m. kind of person, but I do get up and I have my routine, and it's really important. If my routine is off, I notice I'm off. Yes. So having that morning meditation time and doing your affirmations and having your journaling and, just being really specific on all of the things that you do, visualizing, and gratitude. Gratitude is the key to a grateful heart and an amazing future. If you're not grateful for what you have, what makes you think you're going to get anything else, right? Yeah. So
I have a really good friend who's also in the group. She's been in the hot seat, Waleska Lap. So she created this program called 5 Minutes to Gratitude, and it changed my life. I was knee deep in dealing with PTSD symptoms and trauma, and I was already sort of writing a journal on gratitude. Like I would write things every day that I was grateful for, and that was a struggle some days for me. And so I did her program, and it was literally 5 minutes every morning. And she would give you what to focus on and to really think about certain areas of your life and what to be grateful for. Mm-hmm. And it changed my life. And now she has a book out called The Gratitude Blueprint, because it changed her life. And I watched it happen. We've been friends for 15 years. And so I watched her through her struggle and then through her healing with this gratitude and then her developing this program. So I am 100% with you when you say it's about gratitude, because even in our darkest hour, we can find something to be grateful for. And doing that will shift everything in that moment.
Right. Yeah. Going back to the rocks. Okay, rock, I'm grateful for the lesson that this rock taught me, right? You're not grateful for the pain. You don't want to go through that again, whether it was abusive or whatever, but you're grateful that it's made you the strong person that you are today, right?
Yes.
There can be gratitude for everything. It's about how you choose to see it.
Yes.
So,
I used to say, why me, right? Because it was one trauma after another. Why me? Why me? And then I sort of changed that to, why is this for me?
right.
And I started looking at it for the lesson I was meant to learn from it, and becoming grateful. So, that's why I can talk about my family, and I'm grateful for what they've done, even though it hurt at the time, because it helped me learn the things I needed to become who I am today.
Love
And
it.
so it's such a powerful shift, because gratitude leads to forgiveness, and it just leads to peace of mind
Absolutely.
and to living authentically, unapologetically.
Unapologetically you, which is how you find your voice, shift your mindset, and create the path that you want to live.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I love it. It's not easy, but it really is that simple.
Yes, I totally agree. This has been such a great chat, because I feel like I've met somebody who's like totally on the same level of my way of thinking. And I love that you're working with people on this, because I do some of the mindset stuff with my clients as well, because I understand the importance of it. And so it's such powerful work, and it needs to be done. And I think we're in a state of reawakening essentially in the world, right? This whole pandemic has sort of rocked us to our core, and I think there's a big shift happening in the world, and I think more of what you're doing is going to be needed, because people are realizing now they've had a lot of time to be retrospective and are realizing some of the healing that needs to happen within themselves. So, it's so powerful what you're doing, and so important to each person individually, but I think to all of us as a community as a whole, right? Because I always say we are successful when we are all successful, and when we can help other people find their voice, become their authentic selves.
Yes.
Then we all live a much happier life, and we all create a much happier world.
Absolutely. And same to you. I just applaud you for what you're doing, for the hot seat opportunity that you're giving to other voices, and appreciate you so much for this opportunity to share my little bit of my story with your family of listeners. And I just, anytime as a woman that I can support another woman to continue being herself and cheer her on and just say, yes, like other women need this. And if I can use, my connections and friends and whatever to uplift you and support you, that's what I'm all about. I'm all for. So
I'm with you on that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity. I just applaud you and continue to support you and send you light and love in your path. And just, yes, we are definitely like minds, and definitely going to remain in touch and continue supporting you.
Definitely. I was just going to say, keep in touch, and, keep the group up on what you're doing, and post in the group and let them know, what's happening in your world, because it's nice to sort of see people's evolution as well, and where they're heading. And sometimes we come up with ideas that we want some input on or even some feedback. So use the group, use us, keep us in touch, and definitely you and I will be in touch for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm working on a retreat. It's a Rise Up Revolution retreat, and it's just about powerful women stepping into their power. And I have some things planned. I'm not sure exactly when it's all going to come to pass, but I would love to do a Canada and an American retreat. So I will definitely be in touch. So
yes, please do. That sounds right up my alley.
Because we're going to be looking for breakout speakers, and then we're going to have some amazing experiences, because retreats should be about learning, but also feeling and walking away with an experience. So it's going to be exciting.
Oh, that's exciting. I love that. And yeah, please let me know, because that is totally up my alley. That's my jam.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all. Thank you for the hearts and for your support. And you guys just keep walking authentically and using that voice for good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you.
Bye.